Okie dokes, everybody. And on 3, 2, 1, yo, 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 to the go, go, go. All right, let's get it all started up. Been hearing all these kind of weird kind of sounds coming out of my computer. And I think I might be able to solve it. I'm not really too sure, but one tab at a time, kind of get through some things here. And, like even right now, I'm sort of kind of hear it. And I think what it is, I'm pretty sure that I know, that it must be the earphone jack. That's what I'm thinking. I don't hear it. I put it in. I hear something crazy. All right. Welcome to today's, that's what I need to do. Watch how hashtag Bitcoin is trading in real time. We'll zip on in into the 1 minute, just a little bit. We've got a lot of charts to cover today. And I took a listen. There's a couple openers that I really like, and then there's a couple of like closing slates that I kind of like, that are very expressive of, my personality, which seems to be, coming into some sort of collision with, um, with, like ideas that people have. So there's this idea out there, and I've handed it to someone that's really, really good at this sort of idea. We're going to see what happens. I don't know if anything's going to come of it, but it is so outrageous, this idea and where the idea is coming from. It is so outrageous and explosive and bad for the Bitcoin ecosystem that I could not stop myself, people, from looking at this and wondering what the hell is going on. Really? Is it really that important for you to serve a trading community or a Bitcoin forum, and what you want to do is present it as though it is a safe place and an interesting place and the right thing to do? More personal information, ask for more proof of this, that, and the other. This cultist casting system, ridiculous thing. But I kind of tied it in a, put a little bow around it, and I pushed it towards the right person that I think that if there's something there, and it's not just, I'm just not looking at it and going, man, that's bad. But that they can look at it and go, oh, okay, yeah, we can, there's probably a pretty good talk that needs to be had about people that think that this is a good idea for Bitcoin. Now, maybe if it was under some other industry or you know what? I don't even know, where this would be good for, you know. And I know I'm like, you're just saying to me, Beauty, it's crypto drama. Just spell it out, just spell it out. Well, I mean, I want everyone to, to succeed, but not at the expense of your privacy. You're going to go down in the description and you'll notice that one of the rules to consider when you are out there and you put yourself out there, and I've got basically three rules in my my public life, if I can even call it that, since I've been on the internet. And one of the rules, and the primary rule of being on the internet, is privacy above all. Now, this gets a little touchy. You know, when you're being asked to prove yourself, and there's there's really no reason. I mean, you know, we're on the internet, people. I'm just a lady on the internet. Hashtag make money with beauty. That's even being, like hashtag make money with beauty. If you had been with me from the beginning, hashtag make money with beauty, right? And but I'm just a lady on the internet. I'm not here for friendship and the internet as far as the internet is concerned. I am not on the internet for friendship. And I'm not on the internet because I perceive it as being my baby daddy. It's not. And now I am seeing that someone wants to take it a step further and isolate. And more than likely, I will come out and say this because they don't know what else to do, will abuse the people in that forum. I'm going to say, I'm not the easiest person to get along with, but this is an at will environment that I have always supported, and my outreach is an at will environment. You either want to spend we either, you either want to spend time with me, let's say if you're just consuming, you either want to spend time with me or you don't. That's at will. You don't. You click out, that's it, you're done. That's it, you're done, right? Or we want to engage with each other. And in 2018, if you want a relationship with me, put it on the blockchain. But if you go to the blockchain, there's no gender reveal. This is not a game of children. There's no gender reveal. There's no photo of you. I'm talking about, the most simple, basic tenets of Bitcoin, not all the other ideas that are out there about Bitcoin. The basic tenets, as I understand it, free, guru free, at will, opportunity, etc., etc. And I've been listening to this audio read of the white paper. And I'll post a link. There are a few audio reads actually on YouTube. And I really highly suggest that you start listening to the white paper to see if you can locate where gender reveal exists there. Where does exclusivity on a personhood exist there? Where is it that you are to be a anarchist or an insulter or an idiot in life? Where does it exist there? So I've been listening to it because, it's the holiday season and no better reason for me to be able to launch 2018 fully armed, meaning being able to recite that paper, like it's gospel, instead of being told, well, the white paper this, the white paper that. So after all these years, I am, as everyone knows, I've been in the learning phase and not the earning phase, because on the earning side, I already know how to do that. That's a little bit of a flip-flop because everyone that apparently knows all this stuff continues to live their life in this hateful, insulting, ridiculous ideas about human beings. I don't know. I, oof. You should have heard, I should have just come on yesterday Said I was going to put this on blast. I'm waiting for one person to get themselves out of the way of this. A big stick. He's an important guy in Bitcoin, and he is associated with this by rote, and so I'm waiting on him to get the chance. But I have a graphic. I have people that are interested, and I am going to be talking about this environment, and I have no doubt in my mind that this is not something that is needed at all, at all. There needs to be no separation. Yes, there are meetups in New York that these are meetups now, okay? So these are meetups in person. But on the internet, when you're suggesting that there's supposed to be some gender specific thing, all that can do is be hell. I heard a guy today that said, "What do I need to do? What do I need to do to get into that room?" A guy. Now, he could have been asking on behalf of this and that and the other, but I know who these men are, you know? And it's like, what in the world is going on? Because they have no experience treating women well, from my observation over the years. They have no experience whatsoever. They have no experience whatsoever in knowing how to keep their foul mouths out of the earshot of their young children or others in the space, because there are a lot of people in the space covering cultures, age spans, understandings, what's good, what's not good, lots of different people, but this particular outreach is really bad. I'm going to do as much as I can about it. I'm not very much of a stand on the soapbox. I don't really know when I hear about, you know, justice warriors and goddess complex and all of that BS. But I know how I've been treated, and I know that I do not want other women to be in harm's way of this particular group of men and everything that comes out of them. That I aim to do something about, and just maybe everybody can try it again somewhere else. But it's this is not good at all. Okay, and everybody knows that I have a very deep-seated misunderstanding, with the way that I've been treated, and I've seen other people be treated this way too. I'm not alone in this. All right, so that's the rant for the pre-roll. And I want to thank our sponsor, Good Food. That's Good Food, the cookbook. And guess what? I did have a meeting this morning with Good Food, the cookbook. And of course, the Good Food Fall and Winter is going to be available when the Lightning Network will be available for Bitcoin. Let me write all that out. And I would say that in 2018. Now, we are going to be releasing, you know how I don't know if you guys know anything about book promotion, but we are going to be doing a meet only, a meet only edition of Good Food. And also that one will be available for Bitcoin soon. Okay? And I'll give you kind of a blow by blow, and who knows, maybe we'll put the manuscript over on GitHub as we're working on the first draft so you guys can kind of follow along. But I got a talking to yesterday that, vegetables are out and meat is in. Hey, Ross, that vegetables are out and meat is in. And guess what? Good food. And thank you to the sponsors of Good Food, Fall and Winter. The Quiet Chef has decided that, okay, if they want a meat only cookbook, let's do it. And I am very, very excited about that. So when we did the fall and winter, it was about 51 days. So this kind of falls in line. I think so. So you can expect a meat only cookbook to be sold when Bitcoin gets lightning. And so I got a little bit of a primer as to really how this could happen and what it would look like as far as the sales process and all of that. So thank you to the good sponsors, Good Food, the cookbook series. I want to thank. And let me see, who else could I throw out as a sponsor? I am going to be talking about some very important people that are in the trade. And one I'm not really too sure about, but the other one, we're getting a little bit closer to having him come forward and talk to the cryptocurrency trader. I'm very thrilled about this. I spent a lot of time with him on the phone last night and trying to figure out what's the best way to come to the traders of Bitcoin and be introduced to Andrew Cardwell. Andrew Cardwell of the RSI Edge. He's actually known as, like, the doctor of RSI, the godfather of RSI. He basically, if you want to know anything about RSI for years and years, this is the fellow that one goes to. So I'm trying to work it out. I'm trying to encourage a few people to maybe do a fireside chat with him coming soon. And if I can wing it, it will be a double pleasure. It'll be um, Andrew Cardwell and another rather famous inventor whom I will not name on the broadcast right now. But okay, so Ross, I don't know, you came, you left, and interesting. I love the people that stop by. And Ross, you have a very interesting YouTube channel, so thank you very much for coming through. And let's see here. Okay, there we go. I aim to make everyone famous. That's my goal. Okay. Let's do this. So 21 minutes into the intro and the rant, let me go ahead and read the disclaimer. You guys have been looking at it. And of course, we're going to be covering all of the charts. I have to run over to the disclaimer to make sure that I still have all the names in the queue. Right. The no audio is sometimes, which means that maybe when you're coming into the stream and I'm on audio and then you're like, what's going on? When am I going to hear from her? It really does take anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes to kind of ramp up and go through and set up the event and all of that. And I'm trying to keep this within an hour. I don't know if we can do that. I know it takes at least an hour for me to scroll through all of the charts and make sure that I'm giving each one of them, their due. I think that what can happen is that maybe every other day we can do a more intensive, and then on the odd days, just everybody would know kind of what's going on. And then you're just sort of kind of looking for a current commentary. That's an idea. All right, the stream is to serve as an archive of price action during volatile moves. Yesterday, of course, This was an impossible period. There's no way that I could have been a broadcaster yesterday, the moves that we were getting. So we will, just revisit the charts and see what the after effects were. And but when we're getting moves that are, um, you know, they're volatile, but there's things that are happening that I can actually stop my day and bring it to you, then of course I'll power up. But I'd already been on the mic once yesterday. Please be advised that all content in the charts shown is meant for entertainment and educational purposes only. Trading the stock, bond, currency, cryptocurrency, commodity, and futures markets can be rewarding but is also risky. Be aware that you can lose money and in some ways lose more than you have. It can also be profitable but not without significant risks. You are responsible for your own independent investment transactions. The charts shown are not to serve as an investment advisory service. I highly encourage you to seek professional advice in regard to your own financial decisions. Information you may get from any chart shown and its further discussion in other chat rooms or forums may not reflect my opinions at the time. The chart shown in their content is not a solicitation or an offer for professional investment advice, nor is it an offer to buy or sell stocks, bonds, currency, cryptocurrencies, commodities, and/or futures. The channel is in review for monetization approval. Yes, we did reach our 10,000 lifetime viewership. I'm very proud. I have thanked and thanked and thanked the people that I know that are responsible for us to get over the 10,000. And now we're just in that review, that kind of, ugly cry, part of being on YouTube where we're waiting for them to give it up. All right, so charts, and more chatting, and more connecting. Okay, the charts that we're going to look at today will be Dash, EOS, ETC, BTC, Ethereum, LTC, Dash again. Did I mention Dash twice? Dash on Bitfinex, and oh, sorry, Dash again, XRP, and IOTA. All right, and now I have to figure out how in the world am I going to organize all of that. So let me run it back over to the Discord. I'll be on mute for just a minute. Okay, let's see, 51 minutes. I think I'm going to get all my tabs up, and then I'll come back online this afternoon. If you want to see, actually, let me get the Discord link in here. If you want to see a running list of the charts, I'll be working on the over the Discord, and let me get you a invite for the chart channel. For the chart channel, and create an instant invite. And this is an instant invite to the chart channel, and all of the charts will be posted over there, kind of like a flipboard, if you might. This is a chart channel that we opened up. And I think that works. Yeah, there we go. All right, so of course, I believe there's an expiration timer on the chart channel. If you're interested at all in the Discord, that's where I'll kind of do the flipboard of all of the uh, charts, all, one, and then start working on the narratives by editing the post itself. I think that might be the better thing to do when there's so many charts coming in, and I only have 8 minutes left in the 16 minute. We're trying to see how much I can do. We did this before, trying to see how much I can actually cover in an hour or less. And it just gets difficult because there's a little bit of setup that I want to do. And if there's any kind of crypto drama that's out there, I don't want any of this to kind of fester. I want to just come out with it, let you know what my ideas are and my opinions are of these things. And I think everyone has a right to express their opinions. And it's not about an experience. It's not ad hominem attacks or all this kind of, all this other stuff. People have a right to lift their voice, share what they know, share what they're feeling, um, be heard. Right? There's two things, and I'll leave it at this. There's two things that people ultimately want, and that's to know that they've been loved and to know that they've been heard. And when we shut people down and we shame people, those two things are being violated. Support one another, listen to one another, listen to one another. Stop shaming and trolling the great people that are on the internet that are in love with Bitcoin. Stop doing that. There's a lot of hard work that we have to do, and nothing is going to be on the cheap, and nothing is going to be free for certain. I know that I have that entire rant that I want to share. Nothing. If those two things exist, then you have a team of people that are willing to fall on the sword for you, and that is a power trip. Okay, that's a power tripper. Read the disclaimer. Okay, it was never supposed to be like that. Rumors of poor social conduct, hiring insulting channel owners, demanding and intrusive caste systems, and using the expanding member base to fuel poorly run exchanges are among some of my open concerns. They're real concerns. We need to clean it up, fix it, stop up the dam. And I'll end it with this. I am not the easiest person to get along with at all. But one thing I'm not going to listen to is just a bunch of BS by power trippers, BS by people that think that some kind of old way of doing things is going to be the right way of doing things. It's not so. And everyone should be treated fairly, and people should be working hard for one another. And there we go. All right. Listen, have a good chart in front of you. Have a great chart in front of you. It does not have to be my taking over the BTC USD Coinbase. It does not have to be my chart. Okay? It should be your chart, what makes sense to you. I could look at the chart. I could be asked 101 times, Beauty, what do you see? Well, I see full retrace from the Ruby Cross. That's one thing I see. I see that we are going to probably breach this channel, and I said, I'm thinking probably the price is going to take a dramatic turn because of the Ruby cross and everything broken down. Okay, but you don't need. I'm not. I'm not here to be a guru on my chart. This is my work. It's over at GitHub if you ever want to look at the backtesting. For me, I enjoy it. I learn. I study it constantly. But it doesn't have to be my chart. It can be your chart. And you don't have to be, like if you follow Fibonacci and you're in a room where the owner is saying out loud, hey, really, not really. If you are in a channel and the founder or the owner of the channel is telling you that FYZ indicator is effed up, that XYZ indicator is full of shit. If XYZ indicator is this, that, and the other, that you should follow a colored candle, you may want to really think about the intentions of that person. Have a good chart in front of you that you understand, that you can follow along, that you can profit from, that you can do a setup on yourself. I highly, highly recommend it. Okay, Willie in the house. Okay, all of our, right. Okay, all of our chat participants, Willie, I aim to make you all famous. And so we want to follow Willie. There's his channel. I love doing that. And the chat, of course, as everyone knows, is archived in the part of the comment section. When it can be done, it's done most of the time. When it can be done, I do it. And we'll run through, the last thing I need to do in the couple minutes is make sure that we run through all of the Nightbot commands. And I know that the Autobot's been working pretty well. And there's a couple of things that actually won't come out of the Autobot until we reach the 60-minute mark. Well, our Nightbot, we only got a couple more minutes, guys. Our Nightbot, there we go, log in. Oh my gosh. Okay, log in. Log in. Allow. Okay, excellent. Custom. Okay, that's right. The command exclamation about. Okay, so we have that one. This will all be down in the description tonight. All of the commands. Then we'll be doing some lessons such as this, like individual words, such as what is a circuit breaker and that sort of thing. And there is just a very brief number. I only have a couple of, the character count is not that great. The other one, which is a new one, has something to do with learning how to have a trading journal, and also the multiple emoji command, making sure that that works. Yeah. And then we have, once again, we'll go into the indicator. So such as E-Wave. So again, these are just kind of graphics that you'll find over at my Twitter. And then we have something called Tiny, which is that in 2018, if you want to have a relationship with me, you're going to put it on the blockchain. The live one is this one here. We're almost done. Almost done. Make sure that everything works. Yes, 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 yes. And then the final one is just a shout out to our sponsor, Good Food Fall and Winter. And this was just a fun little article about how to roast a turkey over at over at um over at the New York Times. Okay, let's run through BTC, LTC. LTC USD is next up. There we go. You guys know that there was an upward triangle that was built on the chart. And of course, we had the Ruby Cross break at the lower channel. All right, we got some interference. The lower channel broke to the 96, came back in briefly for a moment. The Ruby Cross came in, and of course, the trade fell apart, coming down to the 243. There are some buyers that came in, but clearly, this is the whole thing about the Ruby Cross. And on the narrative side, okay, there's a lot of profit that you could have taken on this trade up above. So I don't even want to get involved in the conversations. We had a great Ruby Cross long, a great one. And if you have not been involved in Litecoin or you're just kind of new to the Litecoin scene, um, I can't make up for that time. Watch an instrument. Just watch it for a season. That's 3 months. Just watch, see what it responds to. Try some different indicators. Get involved in Andrew Cardwell's RSI. Do the right thing. Don't build up bad habits. I know that I have to build up. I have to dismiss a lot of childhood learning every single day. Um, but I'm not really an educator like Andrew's an educator. I am not. I am not. And so you have to kind of align yourself with some really, really smart people so that you can discover the best way to manage your trade going forward. Up to this point, maybe it hadn't been that demanding, but now you just can't. You have to really, really raise your game up. Okay, LTC, USD, EOS. EOS on the dollar Bitfinex. We did a Fibonacci on this, and we just did a Fibonacci swing on a range, I believe. Yes, on a range. Yep, yep, yep. Here, I'll open this up. I need to probably do a better narrative on EOS. Of course, it's been in a Ruby long with some great profit taking here. We've got the trough, the right, just what should I say this, the pullback on EOS, and then of course the explosive move that took EOS up into these. The high print was $12.50, and then we were able to get the Ruby swing. I'm trying to get my eyes around this here. And let me take a look at a bigger chart, because I know that that is a, hold on just a minute. It must be my eyes. Hold on. I need to even go out even further. I don't want to disclose too much about EOS, but obviously I've got, this is a trend line coming up here. And then we took the Fibonacci low to high in anticipation that the all-time high was actually being reached, and that's why we were able to get the lower Fibonacci prints here. So we're resting at about the 786, a 1078, and 1078 just is right in between here, between the level 3, 618, and the level 4, 236. So, this is a very interesting time. Ruby is thinning a little bit as let me get into the 1 minute so we can kind of take a look. Hold on just a second. Let me get my chart back up a little bit. So this is all the volatility in the 1 minute. As EOS came down to the 51, this is our money line. This is where we do believe on Ruby that money becomes interested in the name if price does come down. Collect some strength here, and then you can see even a couple power candles. In true fashion, you always want the 8 to support the close, but you can see that the trade is extremely volatile, just bouncing off and off and off the 8. and the 12, but still a ruby long. We do not have a 841 cross at all. This is actually the 12 and the 8 with the 12 holding court. So, this is sort of, we're getting kind of in an area of EOS coming off the high where we want to kind of be maybe on more high alert. A lot of profit in EOS, EOS, USD. I don't know what the highest number was. We are down 5.79% on this particular trade today after these just stellar moves that have been going on now for a few months. That's EOS. How about IOTA? Basically kind of doing this by memory. IOTA, as you can see now, maybe looking a little bit the same, coming off of its highs. As you can see, the left part of the chart coming into Ruby, being supported by the 51, which is way down here. Then supported, but a lot of, the 8 and the 12 pressuring. This is what this is all about. If there's a left shoulder, right apex, we have the left shoulder, apex, right pullback, and we're right here. If price does not sort of kind of go above 5.002, we're down 5.7%. All this energy to bring the price down, recover, we'll just have lost. And the bears will take over. Okay, that's IOTA. Next up would be, by memory, XRP. Just try the Kraken pair. And I'll tell you what, if you see all of this ruby at the very top of the header, we have not seen this very much. Okay, this is a new phenomenon in price. So just want to let you guys know. Here is XRP. Ripple. All right. I don't really have a whole lot to say about Ripple. I am not involved in its controversy. I just know that there was a great Ruby cross long from its base. Fantastic. So much going on, very organized. And what we're finding out in this trough here, whether you looked at it as a cup and handle, it's not really enough time in the legacy markets for, 60-minute cup and handle isn't really that great. But you could look at it as though that's the lip, there's the pullback, the handle, then a continuation. Ruby takes it short, and the trade is in the short right now. I don't know exactly what's going on. Ripple down 6.41% at @70 on the book right now. Let's take a look at bitconnect, BTC, on the hit BTC. And this is, of course, one of the very popular names, controversial names on YouTube. There's a lot of people that are involved in this name, and right now we're down 0.81%, but we will take a look, and got a lot of markings on the name, trying to keep track of some of the dust that goes on. It's been in a ruby short for a while, and now we're getting a little bit of the ruby long coming in. There's a lot of things that have to happen. The EMAs do have to come underneath price for there to be a, like a true long coming in. Not that there aren't some great prices, but you'll notice, if you've never seen this before, that the trade is going and starting to exhibit signs that it wants to go long. And then also right at free market equilibrium, which is a line that is established by me looking at the name from the all-time highs to the all-time lows and trying to determine where there is more market participation, kind of, what the attraction is to price. And here we are. It wants to be supported by free market. And, we have this Fibonacci swing at the 50%, way up here. Let me see what else I can tell you. We'll keep a very good eye on this. Fascinating, actually. Let me take a picture, and what I will do with that picture is put it on the Discord, and let me do that in just a moment. So, for those of you that wanted to know about BitConnect, and let me go over to, where do I go? Over to the Discord, and there we go. And it will be in the chart. Will be in the chart channel, and oh, and you'll look for the charts when I say chart live in the chart invite. Go ahead and give you guys the invite. I'm just kind of, I believe the invite link is the same, but I'll just say, how do I say it? Let's see. Oh, where is the invite? Okay, there we go. And that's where this chart will be, a picture of the chart. We'll keep a very keen eye on this. If you wanted to see it in real time, I can change the name of the event if that's something that you guys wanted to see. We'll go ahead and we'll put it on the 3-minute. We'll get our candles back up. And what I'm thinking, I mean, I don't want to miss anything up here. But I am thinking that maybe the BitConnect chart needs to kind of be maybe a different candle. But there's the BitConnect. Currently, I am not, as I've often told you guys, if I'm ever an affiliate of any program where there's any kind of compensation that's official compensation, I will make sure that you know I'm not an affiliate of BitConnect. However, there is one of our panel members who is, and I hope that he will come forward on his own channel and talk to you guys about the connect and so forth and so on. I have been doing a little bit of just a review and a reveal and watching a lot of the YouTube channels, and I mean, just like anything else, truly just like anything else, you have a lot of discourse. That's what it is. So I live by the charts. I look at the charts every day. I try to have the chart tell me the narrative, and then I go into the social, see what the social narrative is. Go back to the charts, see if they're reflective. Then I hit up the news, and then I go into the founders. Like you go back and forth, go back and forth. You don't drink out of one side of the glass too much so that you can keep your mind open. And because it is an affiliate referral commission style program, you really have to understand that you're serving your what's called a downline. I don't really know what they call their people, but you have to know that you're serving people. It's a very evangelical thing to be a referral affiliate marketer. You can't then one day decide that you're going to, once again, go right back into troll talk, and this is why we have crypto drama. Really and truly, this is why we have crypto drama, because in crypto, man, people want to be troll in through the front door, troll in through the back door, because we're all trolls. We're all stoner trolls. But in 2018, I think we're really going to see a little bit of a change of mind, because any of us that have been in this long enough, and I'm not saying that money should make you this, that, or the other. You do you. But in affiliate marketing, When you do you and it ends up that you're a friggin' power tripper, right? I mean, to the point that you'll get online and call someone, like, tell someone that they're, I don't know. I had to watch a video yesterday and I was just like, are you kidding me? You're kidding me. You're showing people that you're, a millionaire and you're all of this, but as it turns out, you're willing to call out your downline. And I've seen this more and more, more and more. There are recordings of all sorts of upline nonsense. It's really crazy. So, but in 2018, I think we're going to see maybe some of this kind of cleanup, and people will realize that, hey, let's go back to the time in which we support each other and help each other. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to be controversial. It doesn't mean that we're not going to have arguments. But some of these asynchronous um, shamings that are being done on the internet, the memes and the tweets and man, oh man, oof. All right. We have been on for more than an hour. I'm going to leave it on the BitConnect chart because a couple of days ago I was told, lady, you said you were going to cover BitConnect and you're not covering it. Well, guess what? You got, I don't know how many minutes of BitConnect you got. And if there's other controversial names that are out there, bring them forward to me. I don't mind taking a look at the charts, and I'd love to talk to you as to why you chose and selected to be involved. It'd be very, very fun for me because this is a hangout technology. And I think that's it. I'm pretty sure. I know I probably have like 9 other charts to go. Oh, the Ethereum. What am I thinking? Go over to Ethereum. Ethereum USD Coinbase. And let's take a better look at the 1 hour so we can kind of see where we've come from. And the Ethereum USD has been now in the lower part of the channel. And of course, we have the power wick that came down to free market equilibrium line, which I need to start dating these actually, with the 243. And I plan on doing a Maya on this, a Maya, which is where we take the 243 and we do a calculation on it and then arrive at the Maya principle. I can't remember what it's called, but we're adding that number on. But there's the Ether USD chart. And, what can I tell you? There's nothing really new so much. You could, if you want to build the chart with me, you could build a Fibonacci down here. And you could also do it in the opposite direction if you wanted to know what the downside potential was. And the way that I draw it, and once again, this gets back to kind of maybe some sort of bad habits, okay, is that we would draw it from the low to the high, which we'll do right now, because we do have a low put in right here, and we do have a high right there. Okay? So now you have both destinations. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me put it on. I'll put it on 15 minutes. That might be easier. Okay, that doesn't want to load. How about the 30 minutes? That one doesn't want to load. Going back to the hour. Okay, that doesn't want to load. And let's go ahead and reload. Goes back to the BitConnect chart. That's interesting. USD. And let me go into the, did it even take my drawing? I don't think it even took my drawing. Okay, we can draw it the opposite way here. Okay, oh man. Low to near-term high. Okay. So if you're looking for targets at all that maybe you could start to set up, you could be looking at the 96. Breaching the 96 would mean that the trade had rolled over. Currently, let me get really tight now. Let me open up the Fibonacci for just a moment so at least we can see. You can see the lines. And remember, when you're using the tools and then you're really ready to do some execution, because right now we're just doing observation. Okay, we are not doing any execution with these drawings. You would go in and you would actually look at the wick and then you would draw your Fibonacci accordingly. So let me go here and we see our Fibonacci with the low prints. And we can see that the 382 had some collision here. It got some support directly off the 382, powered up. The trade is still, if you can believe it, and I'll put a marker, the trade is Ruby long. Now, it doesn't mean that there aren't some problems. There are definitely problems. The 8 and the 12 are very, very tight. The 12 took over the 8. Very difficult. This is a counter, culture trade. Be careful with Ether up here as it comes off of its highs at 808.26, down 2.2%. But the reality, at least of Ruby, is that it is long. It's just a cautionary long. There's a lot of kind of odd things going on. Maybe you want to check out another kind of a chart. For example, maybe a Cardwell's RSI, as that will give you a clue as to where the name really is resting and what the potential is of the next fractal move. Okay, so let me see here. I think what I'll do, why don't I do this? Okay, so that's Ethereum with the Fibonacci, low to high. And I think what I'll do, no. I'm going to take a picture and put it over at the Telegram. Do I want to do that? Should I do that? Let's see. There's something going on here that I just don't get. I do not get at all. What charts have I covered? BitConnect, right? EOS, Dash, Ethereum, Litecoin. Okay, what I'll do is I'm going to keep the stream live until 2:30 Eastern. And even if I have to get off mic, I'll do that, okay? I'm not getting this. Something is just not right. I'll figure it out, I'm pretty sure. Go over to Twitter. I'm just going to go ahead and have a okay, I guess we have some activity. Nothing there. Next. Okay, difficulty and loading. Okay, here is the Bitfinex. I think we all know what's going on, what we're sort of waiting on. This is the Bitcoin Cash pair coming off of its high, of course, of 41.03. And then any kind of directional move, especially when an apex can't survive. Remember, here's the apex right there. And I'll do a horizontal line here, but so you guys can kind of see. Do you see rejection, pullback, rejection, pullback? This is sort of classic, and then there's all sorts of things I can tell you once things begin to fall apart. Now, the 8 is still boss, okay? On this long right now, this is the 30-minute, the 8 is still boss, but it's giving you a heads up. If the 8 does not support the close, this is just an old Forex trick. If the 8 does not support the close, usually in 60 plus 20-second candle, you really do have something that you need to really watch. It's a great management tool. I've been using it on the larger time frames just for the narrative of the health of the move. So in this case, remember, because Ruby is built on the 60-minute fixed EMA on the 60. So right now, even though I can get really in there and do that granular view, I can see that the 8 is supporting the close. Okay, you guys can see that? The 60-minute 8 EMA is supporting the close and the stair stepping of the 12. There's no narrowing of the 12, so that's a decent horse race. It looks as though, I don't know if it's going to take another ledge up. Obviously, whenever you get this kind of off the top situation where there is, these are critical, unsuccessful tops, and you can get all sorts of things that can happen. I can see briefly here that there's a little channel that didn't work out. That also was corrupted, but the 8 is holding the close. So if you did not take the pop and you found yourself in complete retrace, that's the label on this one, it really shouldn't be that. That's why I'll go ahead and take it off, because that's for another instrument. That this is one way for you to have this narrative with price, so that you can become accustomed to, and kind of just look at the data, and that will help you kind of calm your nerves if you will go back and work the data, run through your journal, know your setup, right? Have a great chart in front of you. It does not need to be mine. It should be a chart that you completely understand, because you've been given the greatest education that is out there, such as, and this is when I will go ahead and switch gears. And if you guys don't mind, I will go ahead, because this is on my wish list, okay? On my bucket list for you guys to learn about. Let me go over here. I want you guys to learn from the best in the business. Because if we do not learn from the best in the business, what we are going to be bringing forward is going to be a motley crew of no discipline, a motley crew of building something and then that person isn't even involved in crypto. We want to get our lessons and education from people that have been in the trade for decades. For decades. That's what you want. Because once they've decided not to do that for us, you tell me where you're going to get your information from. Truly and truly. So what I want to introduce you to, of course, is Andrew Cardwell. And I'm just going to go ahead and get over to his page. And I probably don't even know. Oh, there it is, Cardwell Edge right here. Okay. All right. This is Andrew Cardwell. And he does not, on his website, he is not saying the best because people do not agree with him. He is the doctor, the granddaddy, Mr. PhD, the godfather of RSI. If RSI has ever been of any interest to you, that its methodology, how it works, how to actually make it work for you in the trade, I am doing everything that I can to get Andrew Cardwell to come and speak to specifically the Bitcoin trader. And I think that, if you guys have ever seen a chart where it says beauty's aesthetic, on Cardwell, this is a beta chart that I have been working on for years now. This is the man that formulated a way of looking at RSI that is absolutely gorgeous. And what you can learn from it is all of the nature of the trade, what RSI is, why fractals are important, um, the methodology and why it makes sense. And anyway, so that's Andrew Cardwell, okay? Andrew Cardwell's right here. And the only thing that we have really that is kind of understood, and there's our BCH. There you go with the 8 holes to close. We have, let me see here. Where are we? Okay. We do have this is a gentleman's agreement on with Andrew. I would not be able to do this had I not, like I'm encouraged by, the greats. And this is it doesn't make me a better anything than anybody. It makes me more observant, more willing to learn, more willing to listen without having some sort of preconceived idea of what works or not. You really have to learn these things and learn them from, the masters. So Andrew Cardwell, here's the link. And the only thing that we have is a gentleman's agreement between us is that you just mention beauty or beauty bubble, sort of kind of thing that beauty sent me, kind of thing like that. That's it. We don't have anything formal at all whatsoever. I do, of course, this will get ramped up a little bit more if he does agree to do any kind of a fireside chat with us. I'm hoping that maybe it can be hosted on a bigger channel, and so that there's no time wasted, and so that he can be talking to a greater channel. But if it ends up where he comes here, so be it. It will be archived for all of history, and I'll just keep sharing and sharing. But that's Andrew Cardwell, and there you go. You just mentioned beauty or beauty bubble. It's a gentleman's agreement right now. We don't have anything signed. There's nothing that's agreed upon whatsoever. But probably down below, within the next couple of days, I'll have to put, that there is a promotional, what's called a consideration, or for me referring you to his coursework. So there we go. And the 8 is supporting the close. If you want me to go into another chart, I will. If you don't mind, hold on just a moment. Let me see if we can get I'm glad that I stayed with you guys, actually. So there's always a reason why you should stay. All right, so let's see what we've got on. Let's see what's going on with BTC on this move. Coinbase. All right. Well, no, this is good. We're a balancing act. So that complete retrace line, by the way, this was a complete retrace of the Ruby Cross, and we are inside of this channel. The little perforated lines that you see. This is a pretty good sign. We have the double bottom, the W bottom, the left shoulder. The apex, of course, is on trend with the channel as it would be. So we got the rejection of the channel, support of the channel, comes into the channel, support of the complete reverse. I mean, the stacking sequence is still really short, but we'll see what happens right there. Not so bad. Not so bad. And let me see what else. Oh, let's take a look and see what Litecoin is doing. Let's see how it's handling this. Okay, so, it's still going through a little emotional separation anxiety with Litecoin, but I have no fear. At $315, Charlie admittedly is, he can be all things. Talk about having a mastery class, a PhD on the internet. This fellow knows how to work the internet. And so, we'll deal with the separation anxiety for a little bit. Definitely, I should probably have like a single line that says "hell to the no." Litecoin is either it's a disjointed product without its founder, or it's going to, have the support of people that just love to own Litecoin. But we know that From what Charlie is telling us, that he has been releasing his Litecoin. He's been selling his Litecoin into the, he's been selling his Litecoin. And so there we go on that. The part that I'm not liking here is I'm not crazy about the, let me see, let's see if I can find the features. Okay. If you guys don't have the, to the 15 okay, so the futures contract, as you know, the opening low, we breached it, and now we're getting all of the ruby. All of the ruby has been in here. At first I showed you how the 8 came into play, the 12 came into the play, of course the 32. If you've never seen a ruby stack before or developed, this is how it all unfolds itself. It's a great way of looking at ruby. You could actually go into the legacy market and watch an IPO and do the same sort of thing. But let me get this over to Discord, and let me grab another link over here and get us over to Discord. And a picture of this will be over in the chart section. Get the uppercase. And there we go. Okay. Let me just type a few quick notes here. That is it's the BTC futures 2018 15-minute contract here. So we know that the Ruby cross came in from the opening breach actually, and then the price is refused to get out of Ruby, got hit by the 51. That's the money line right there. Price comes back down. It's being held at what I used to call hold hostage. Got some double bottom kind of stuff in here. Let me move to the 30-minute and maybe see if we can kind of squeeze this down a little bit and see what in the world is going to happen here. I don't know. Double bottom failure, the 16,438, this would be, we're just talking about stair stepping down, and maybe we would, even go as low as 1504. That is on the futures contract, 1504. I think it's just, it's being kind of whipped around by all this other volatility and political stuff and infightings and confusion over if, I guess Coinbase, they're trying to do some examination on whether or not there was insider trading. So as you can notice, I haven't even been over to the headlines today. I did one headline on one chart today, and then that's really it. So a lot of headline readers that are out there. It's probably better if I stay in my swim lane, but if you kind of sort of want to know, what's going on with the news, let me do what I do, which is I've got a news feed that comes from a Google Doc that I have. And then what I'll do is I'll open up my tweet deck. And I do encourage a tweet deck. I was going to say a tweet deck, but it's not a tweet deck. It's a tweet deck. I do encourage everyone to have a good list of their, to use tweet deck. Okay. And let me see here. We have some liquidated longs, shorts, longs, 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 and longs. Okay, so that That's where that is. The word scam is probably pretty much everywhere. I'm going to, in my fourth column, I'm going to do insider trading and see what happens there. Allegations of insider trading. It implies Charlie was up to something nefarious, so they're calling out Charlie as foul play. Coinbase is halting Bitcoin Cash transactions. 17 sex. This is a repeat of the Verge article. I mean, the tweet deck is really going wild. If you do the insider trading, you're going to see a few things. I mean, it's not. Now here it comes loading up. Investors call foul play. And I don't know if they're calculating the comment section by using the plural of investors. I mean, clearly we're ready for a whistle blow, sort of something. There has to be, and because it cannot stay in what's called the troll boxes of Bitcoin. We need to really have a clear path. If we're really going to go forward, and there are these kinds of things, you have to be able to lodge your concerns and have them be counted somehow. I don't know how that would work, but there's some. The oil industry has a whistleblower. The pharmaceutical industry have whistleblowers, and maybe we're getting ready to be able to have something like that that's supported by the community, that's community supported, and and then if you're kind of a known troll in the space, and or if it's admitting that that you're a troll in the space, then whatever you have to say would not carry the same weight, or because when you make a comment, it's all weighted on the number, on the metric, based on number. It's not rated on your you know your authentication or your knowledge base or your education at all. It's just a simple number. That's why ephemeral chat is so bad. All those chats should have voice, all of them. If you want to voice your concern, lodge your complaint that way, you just hit that button, hit the big red button, and lodge your complaint that way. All right, so my tweet deck is going absolutely nuts. Yours should too, especially the insider trading. I can see that it is kind of, it's not as hot as it probably was in the last few hours, but it's still plenty of activity there. I think so. I think so. RPD. Oh, they're saying that our BTC has been hacked. But that's a piece of news that just came through. Box. Over at Telegram, I do follow a few, but it is saying that our BTC has been hacked, and I don't really know what the deal is over there. Let's see what they have to say. Welcome to Reddit. Go to new. RBTC has been hacked. I have no idea why Crypto News would put this out. So hold on just a moment. Screenshot of where it was all empty. The R Bitcoin actually. Where did they? You know what they're doing over there? They're picking up the word hacked. That's what they're doing. It's silly. Okay, hitting up the Cointelegraph. And I'll go from the recent story. These are just headlines, guys. Coinbase, Julian Assange. I'm going to go down even further. What I was saying about Charlie Lee, Litecoin founder sells all his Litecoin, but promises not to leave Litecoin. Okay. Cointelegraph, South Korea FSS cryptocurrency not, quote, actual currency, end quote, should not be regulated. It's not actually currency. On YouTube, Cointelegraph is making sure that we know that Simon Dixon, why Bitcoin is better than banks, an interview with Simon Dixon. They're getting some upvotes. I don't know when that, if it's live or they don't give us the date stamp on that. Another Cointelegraph headline, SEC freezes trading for former crypto penny stock. The U.S. SEC suspends the trading of the crypto stocks until January 3rd due to concerns over sale of shares by insiders and potential manipulation. Cointelegraph headline: Blockchain for hospitals. Document distribution platform announces key partnerships. Okay, everybody's been talking about that. And then with 11,003 eyeballs on this headline, false start, Coinbase's GDAX halts BCH trading trading hours after starting. So that's about it. Plenty of people that cover the headlines out there. And you know that I love to read them, but I just don't see that much of, I mean, everybody gets the telegram. Everybody can see the headlines. The only thing that I would have to offer is some sort of oppositional opinion, which I really try and keep a lot of that to myself. I'm much more interested in the personal interface of Bitcoin and the rest of the world, and who we are and how we conduct ourselves and all of that. I do not opine, as they say, over the headlines. They're fast moving. No one is really responsible for most of them. If you even take any of the headlines and run it over to Google, you'll see that these are distributed in people's blogs and these weird websites. So I don't know. There's no reason that I need to distribute these headlines. Everybody knows where to get them. I wish that there was like one source that we all went, oof, that is one great place to get them, but it just doesn't exist. Yeah. All right, that's going to be it for me. I will pop out the chat. And so we have a record of a little bit of the chat. I want to thank you very much, and I will talk to everyone soon.